Hello YouTube stackers, this is ST with Silver Stacking 101, where we believe in staying stacked and packed. That means stacking silver, stacking food, stacking ammo, and being packed with the means to defend our stack. We are going to continue talking about the economics of silver. Let's talk about the problem with economic analysis as it is currently done in popular media and pop culture. Please keep in mind when you turn on the TV, these are guys with journalism degrees trying to tell you macroeconomic trends they themselves generally do not understand. We try to make economic forecast fit into a nice, neat, finite equation. It doesn't work that way. An example is I have a bread recipe that requires a certain temperature and certain ingredients measured precisely. I can tell you what the bread will taste like when it comes from that recipe. The problem is there are so many variables in the economy that cannot be accounted for by any formula. When we do economic projections, we have a term for it called ceteris paribus. That means this projection will hold true, all other things being equal. All other things are never equal. There are so many variables outside of anyone's control. Take a catastrophe, an earthquake. Let's say the Mississippi fault line gives way, breaks the pipeline, starves the southeast and the east of the United States of fuel. How do you factor that into your risk? How do you factor in a corona mass ejection? How do you factor in a terrorist attack? It cannot be done. But even other items, how do we factor in political instability in some country that creates a hot spot that depresses the markets? It cannot be done. So when we do projections, we make it look real nice, neat, like this is a definitive projection. But amongst each other in the academic world, it is termed ceteris paribus. All other things being constant, this should hold true. All other things are never constant. Studying the economy is more like making a pot of soup. Now follow my example. Let's say we are going to make a cast iron pot full of vegetable soup. We are going to cook this soup over an open fire for 12 hours. Every 30 minutes, we will have a new cook. Each cook can add to the ingredients. If they can pick out the ingredients in the pot, they can remove ingredients. They cook for their 30-minute period, determines how high the flame's going to be underneath the pot. And then we have other variables come in like ambient temperature of the air and so forth that affects how fast it's going to cook. Now, if we run this experiment and we're passive observers on the side, as it goes along, we know we're going to have stew or soup at the end of 12 hours. We don't know what it is going to taste like. As we watch, each cook either adds to something, such as maybe put in asparagus and Brussels sprouts, or they pick out something like the potatoes, or may add in boiled okra. And if you've never had boiled okra, if you're not from the South, highly recommend it. Also, try fatback. It will kill you, but you will die happy. Getting back to the soup. If we follow the progress of the soup, we know the flavor it's taken on. we will not know exactly how it will taste. But in hour 8, we can pretty much tell you within reason what it's going to be in hour 11. Unless somebody comes up and dumps a bunch of shrimp in it for that seafood flavor. Here's how this relates to the economy. As we watch, we have different cooks every few years through our elected officials that institute different fiscal policies. They add to the economy their influence, and they pick out influences of their predecessors they don't like. Now, us as observers are watching this process go along and get a somewhat idea of what the economy is going to look like in 3 years, in 5 years, and in 10 years. These are general ideas. These are not hard, fast, finite equations because, as we know, the only way we can do that is exclude a bunch of events we cannot measure and accurately predict. Because, as I said before, it's not all other things being equal. All other things are never equal. Why do they use it? Why do they do the predictions? Well, you got to predict something. You got to put it out. So we are watching the economy. Now, we have a new administration, a year old. This administration, and in this video, I'm not going to praise or criticize. And I have praise for some things they're doing economically and criticisms for some things they're doing economically. But in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 ingredients that the present administration is introducing into the economic system. On subsequent videos, we will break them apart. They are increased reliance and exploitation of domestic energy sources. Number 2, deregulation. Number 3, tax reform. That gets a lot of press, as you well know. Number 4, renegotiation of trade deals and a withdrawal from certain trade deals that has not been finalized, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, for example. Number 5 got a passing mention in the media, and no one has picked up on the significance of it. And that is the openness to pursue a weak dollar policy should it become necessary to do so. And we're going to talk about that because the media has missed exactly what that means. That was a threat to somebody. And we're going to talk about it because the media's not reporting that accurately. They're reporting what was said accurately, but they're not inferring the hidden meaning of what was said. And that goes back to, we have people with journalism degrees trying to break down complicated economics to us. So we'll go through it. Subscribe if you haven't. Comment. Let me know. Agree. Disagree. Give me a thumbs up. God bless you. Stay stacked and packed. We'll see you next time.